Welcome to Ordinary People Podcast, where we talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I am your host, Alan the Great, and it is Choice 2017. That's right, it is Choice 2017. Don't worry though. I'm not here to talk about presidential elections, who you should vote for, or any of that. That time came and passed. I want to talk about the choices we have and that we have to make in our lives. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. God has a plan for all of us. He's already created a plan for all of our lives. In that plan, I'm going to paint the picture for you of that plan. In that plan, He has a long road. That long road that we go down is our growth. It's called our journey. At the end of that road, there's three forks. There's three forks at the end of that road. At the first fork, the road leads to a house. On front of the house, there's a huge sign. That sign says failure. That house is built for failure. Now, on the second fork, right next to that road, there's another road. This road leads down to another house. This house has a sign on it. It says content or mediocrity. Pick and choose which way you would like to put, what sign you would like on that house. On the third, now let's move on to the next road, because there's a third road that is on this plan. Third road leads to another house. This house leads to a house that has a sign on it that says success. Outside of this house has a huge sign that says success. Now, we're going down this long road of growth, our journey, and we run to this fork of road. Now, let's start at the first fork. Let's say we go on the first fork to the road that leads to the house of failure. Now, once we get to that fork, you're going to notice something's waiting for you. There's a car waiting for you. There's a car full of people who are waiting for you. They're saying, "Come on, we're going to carpool to this house of failure, and we want to take you with us." They're more than willing to give you a ride. They don't want no gas money. They don't want anything. Just come on, get in the car. And as you're driving down that road of failure, they're telling you, your dreams are weighing us down, so throw your dreams out the window. Throw them to the wayside. Your goals are weighing us down, so throw your goals out the window. Throw them to the wayside. Those achievements that you have made thus far on your journey, they're weighing us down. Throw those achievements out the window. And as you're going down this road, you're noticing there's potholes, there's pitfalls, there's spikes in the roads, there's puddles. You see signs that says on the road, there's signs all over the place that says anger, separation, hate. You see these signs as you're riding down this road of failure. You're in a car full of people who are more than willing to help you fall into these pitfalls, to run into these puddles, to fall into these holes, that points out these signs, that tell you your dreams are unrealistic, your goals are unrealistic, that downplay your achievements. And they're driving you to this house of failure. Now, before you reach this house of failure, you run into this wall. You run into this huge wall that separates you from the home of failure. Now, you have choices to make when you run to this wall. How do you get past this wall to make this house of failure? So there's people who are in the car with you, who are trying to drive you to this house of failure. They tell you there's an easy solution. They give you the solution to this choice. It's real simple. We're just going to drive around. We're going to cheat. We're going to drive off the path that God has for us. We're going to ride on the grass, and we're going to ride around this wall. We're going to take the cheating path around this wall to get to the house of failure. So you cheated to get to the house of failure. You pull up into the house of failure. You get out your car. Notice, only thing you have packed is your burdens, your mistakes, the goals that you were never able to achieve. You have a suitcase full of hatred, despise, separation, and you walk into the house and you settle in. Now let's go to the next house. Let's move over to your next door neighbor. Now we're back at the beginning of this road that we call our journey, our growth. And we're walking down this road, and we reach that same fork. But this time, we're going to make the choice to go down the road of complacency, mediocrity. And we're going to hit to that house now. Now, once you start walking to the house, you notice there's a car waiting for you. Unlike the car of failure, it's not full of people that want to carpool. You notice that your name is on a license plate of this car. This is your car. However, you will not be driving this car. Someone else is. Maybe it's your significant other. Maybe it's your cousin, your grandparents, your mom, your uncle, your aunt. Maybe they're the ones driving this car. They're the ones driving this car. So you get in the car, they don't ask for any gas money or anything. Yeah, I want to ride you to this home of mediocrity, this complacency. And unlike the people who are occupants in the car of failure, in this car, they're not telling you to throw away your dreams, your goals, your achievements, your aspirations. They're telling you they're starting to downplay them. You talk about the achievements you made and they start downplaying them. They start to make them seem smaller than they are. You talk about your goals and they start to tell you how you can achieve them and talk about all the more obstacles you're going to face on the road to those. They're going to dismantle everything that you're trying to build. All the way up to this house of mediocrity or complacence. Now, just like when you was driving towards a house of failure, you're driving to this house of complacency, of mediocrity, and you run into that similar wall. Get out the car, you look at that wall. That passenger driving your car, the person driving your car looks at you and say, boy, I really want to make it to the house. But I only can get there if you open the door to this wall to get through. So what are your choices? You have a choice to take the failure route and cheat and go around the wall, but you're not going to do that. So you climb over the wall. You grab onto this long rope that's hanging from that wall, and you climb over that wall. That rope is burning your hands. And you're tired. Your arms are tired. Your shoulders are tired. Your legs are tired. And you're pulling. And your hands are burning through the ropes as you climb over that wall. And you reach the top. You climb down that wall. And as you open that door, you use your last ounce of energy to open that door to let in that person who did no work. Who not only did no work, but sat there and further bantered you, not motivated you as you climbed the wall. You open the door, let them in, and you drive to that house of complacency, of mediocrity. And you're so tired that you can't even walk through the door. You have to crawl through. You're crawling through this door now. And as you crawl through the door, you realize this person that you've been dragging along with you is only further weighing on you. And only will continue to. Now we're going to move on to the house of success. We're back at that road, our journey, that road of growth in our journey. And we're back at that fork. Now we don't want to take the road of failure. We don't want to take the road of complacency or mediocrity. So what do? We want to take the road of success because we all want success, right? We all want to achieve that, right? So we take that road. But unlike failure, there's no car full of people waiting for us. Unlike complacency or mediocrity, there's no one waiting for us in a vehicle. We're all alone in success. We're all alone in this vehicle driving down this road. Now, like these other two journeys, this one too has its pitfalls, it has its puddles, it has its challenges to get to it. Now you reach that wall. Now maybe you have your significant other, your husband, who's been supporting you this whole way and motivating you, or your wife who's been encouraging you this whole way, your children in the back encouraging you this whole way. Maybe you have them with you. And you reach the same wall. Now once again, you have the option. Are you going to cheat? Show your family that you're a cheater and go around this wall? Or are you going to exhaust yourself by climbing over this wall? No. You're going to make the choice to bust through this wall. You're going to bust straight through this wall and create such a huge hole that your husband or wife can follow through this wall, that your children can walk through this wall, and y'all can continue to drive to that house of success. And the damage of that wall, that hole you created, all the pieces of that wall start to fall to the ground, and what they do is they cover those pitfalls, those puddles, those potholes on that road that was making it so hard for you, and it created an easier way to navigate to this road to success. Just by you busting through that wall, you created a smoother path of success for the people who follow you, the people who are behind you, to make it to a house of success. You drive to that house. You unpack all your luggage. But you're not unpacking luggage of burdens, of hate, of despair. You're unpacking wisdom, love, hope, achievements, goal. That's what you're unpacking. And you're setting up. Now we're going to make a quick journey back to the house of failure. Because see, outside of all these homes, God has given you another gift. He's giving you a garden. Outside of the house of failure, mediocrity, of content, and success, there's gardens. Just like your home that you may live in now, you have a garden. Outside of that home of failure, there's a garden. What's growing out of that garden? Is it goals, achievements, hope, success, love? Yeah, they were once growing out there, but you notice something unique about those things. Like a flower in the wintertime, you notice they're slumped over. They're not dying. They're dead. Hope is dead. Your goals are dead. Your achievements are dead. They're dead. Love is dead. Those flowers are dead in that garden. But you notice something's growing out of that garden. Weeds. Thick roots are growing out of that garden. These weeds and roots are not only growing out of that garden, but you notice they're starting to overtake the windows of your home, overtake the doors. Now these weeds and roots are so thick you can't even cut through them. And they're they're being grown by hate, division, separation, hate of a person's choice of sexual preference, of their sex, whether it's male or female, their religious belief, of their goals, of their achievements. It's fueled by the hate. And it's growing all over your windows, and it's covering your windows. It's covering your doors to a point you can't open your windows. You can't open your doors. The only thing is growing out of this garden of failure is thick roots and weeds. And it's covering your home. And you notice something else before everything's covered you can't see. There's a dark cloud forming over the home of failure. And you notice that the only thing that you're breathing in is the fumes of hate, separation, division. That's all. You have been overtaken by failure and all that comes with failure. And you begin to hate your neighbors of mediocrity and content. You hate your neighbor of success. You're fueled by nothing but pure hate. Now, we look over to a garden of mediocrity and content. Now, unlike the garden of failure, see, your achievements, your goals, happiness, love, success, they're in that garden. They're not dead, but you see them dying. And you wonder, why are they dying? It's because you've been carrying this burden of a person. You've been carrying them, and they've been weighing on you. They've been eating all the things out of your garden. They've been encouraging you not to water your goals, your dreams. They've been telling you to neglect your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, your achievements. They've been telling you to neglect them. And you realize you're letting them die of neglect. You're letting a piece of you die of neglect. See, that animal that has been eaten at your garden has become the very burden, the person who you've been carrying, the person you've been letting drive your car, eat your food, live in your house of contentment, mediocrity. They're encouraging you to stay at a job. You know, you're at this job and you're at the ceiling and your neck is bent. You ever feel like your neck is bent because you're at the ceiling of your job and you realize you have nowhere else to go? There is nowhere else to go. There is no growth. But you're content because you know what? At least I'm able to pay my bills. I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm living just to make it. But you know what? At least I'm making it. And I'm okay with that. Because this person I'm carrying is happy. I'm not living my goals. I'm not living up to my full potential. But you know what? At least I have a job. And you're selling for it. You selled into his life. You know, you're not happy with this person that lives with you. This person's in this relationship with you. I'm not happy with you. You know, they might be cheating on you. Or they might be sitting in your house watching ESPN. Or spending all your money and never working. But you know what? At least I'm not home alone. At least I'm not single. At least I'm not living in a house of failure. It's not so bad. You become content with your life the way it is. And the fact that you're not even happy. You have become content with your life. That's what you have done. You become content with it. You're watching the plants die. You go into your cupboard to find something to eat, but there's nothing left to fuel your goals, to fuel your ambition, to motivate you. There's nothing there because everything in your garden that will fill your brain, that fulfill you, to make you want to chase it, has all begun dying. It's starting to rot. And what was there is being wasted by a person, that burden that's leaning on you, who keeps eating at your food but wasting it, wasting your potential, wasting your time. My listeners, do you have a feeling in your stomach right now when you listen to me? Is there something creeping up in your stomach that you feel? Is the hairs starting to perk up on the back of your neck because you're looking and realizing that you're living in a house of contentment, that that's the road that you chose? Are you starting to see a picture being painted here? When you sit in the shower or you wake up in the morning, are you dragging yourself to work, to a job that you settled for? Are you looking at your garden and seeing your dreams and your goals all die? Your achievements withering away? Can you see it, my listeners? Now let's go back to that road and let's go drive to success. Now what's in the garden of success? In the garden of success, you see your goals are thriving. They're growing high to the sky. They're growing like a beanstalk. You see achievements continuously to grow. Love is continuous to grow. Hope is growing out all the way into the sky. They're not overtaking your house. They're not covering your windows. They're not blocking out the sun. The sun is shining. There's not a cloud in the sky. But then when you walk out your house, you smell something unique in the air. What's that unique fragrance you smell in the air? It's the devil's #1 tool. His bestseller in his store. It's really simple. It's a word called discouragement. Discouragement is what you smell. It's the pesticide that's being sprayed on your garden. It's sprayed in there to destroy that air that you're breathing in. You're breathing in discouragement to eliminate that belief that you can continue to achieve success, financial security, hope, love, can accomplish these goals, continue to add to achievement. Discouragement is what you're starting to breathe in outside the house of success. Now you're probably saying, okay, we're breathing in discouragement and we all have felt discouragement, but how do we fight back against discouragement? It's really simple and I'm going to give you the steps, but first you have to understand what causes discouragement. What causes us to fail? What causes us is we put too much of our focus into negative events that happen in our lives. Think about it this way. Here's an analogy. You lost $20 and you're beating yourself up about that $20. You lost the last $20 I had and you're putting so much energy behind it. But 2 weeks ago you were dead broke and you're walking down the street and you found $200. And you ain't put half the energy into it. You're telling everybody that you lost $20. You're spreading it to the world. You're spreading this negativity to the world. You're giving it so much power that you lost $20. But when you found $200, you kept it tucked. You didn't tell anybody. When something good happens to your life, what do? We tuck it deep under our jacket and we hide it like we stole something. But when something bad happens in our life, we spread it like wildflowers. We're spreading to everybody. We're fueling discouragement. We're fueling it. We're making the choice to give discouragement power over our lives. The negativity power over our lives. That's what's fueling that discouragement. That's the pesticide that's been sprayed on your garden. That's been sprayed in the air that you breathe when you walk out the house of success. We're breathing the discouragement that we're creating because we're giving power to the negative events in our lives instead of giving power to the positive things that happen in our life. We hide the positivity but show off the negativity in our life. We have to eliminate that. Now we started this off talking about Choice 2017. The choices you have to make is to fight back against discouragement. How do you fight back? By coming to a solution towards hate. Towards coming out instead of focusing on negative events of losing that $20, of not getting that job that we wanted, to our business not working out the way we wanted to, finding a solution to turn those misfortunes into fortunes. To turn those problems into achievements and success. That's how we do it. We need to learn how to find solutions to our problems. When you run into that wall, find a solution that doesn't involve cheating or taking away from somebody else, but find a solution to bust through that wall and create opportunities for somebody else. To not highlight negativities, but highlight the positivities that come in our life. To highlight the great things that we've done and that we do, and the blessings that God has given us instead of the negativities that the devil has overshadowed us. That's how. We need to find solutions. We need to make the choice to replace hate with love, to stop judging people based off their race, their gender, their religious beliefs, and learning how to love each other, support each other, encourage each other, inspire each other, help each other to reach that goal, to inspire success, to highlight people's achievements, to see somebody down on the ground, pick them up, dust them off, and tell them get back in there and keep trying. Because failure is not the end all. It's just another opportunity to come back and achieve success. That's the choice we have to make. We have to make that choice as we go on down that long road of growth in our journey to make the right choice to live in the right home. Let's burn down those gardens that sit outside of failure and complacency in the house of mediocrity. Let's burn down gardens. Let's set dynamite to them homes of failure and mediocrity. Let's blow them to pieces. Let's turn it to ash. And let's live in the house of success. Let's live in that house. Let's nourish that garden. And let's take away that discouragement that is perfuming our beautiful air. Let's take it away. People, it's 2017. It's time to make a choice. It's time to make the choice to show people that you care about your future. You care about your children's future, your friends, your family, the people you love future. It's time to forgive. It's time to love each other. It's time to find solutions to problems that don't affect only you, but affect us all. It's time to inspire hope and encouragement. It's time to eliminate discouragement. This has been the Ordinary People Podcast, and this is the Extraordinary Opinion segment. I want to thank y'all for listening to this podcast, and I also want to encourage you to please like, share, subscribe to my channel, Alan the Great. Encourage you to come on, join this community to help grow this podcast into even bigger. Come on, let's like it. Let's subscribe to it. Let's build this podcast, because the success of this podcast is the success of you. The bigger this podcast to get, the more we're gonna help you grow. The more the further we're gonna push you to your dreams, to your goals. So come on, join. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this podcast. Like it it's on YouTube, Alan the Great. Also, look out for the podcast moving to iTunes, Google Play Store. We're also going to be going to SoundCloud really soon. Once again, you're always encouraged to agree or disagree. Share your opinion, your comments and opinions on this segment, as well as others. You can do it in the comments section, or if you don't feel comfortable, do it directly by emailing me directly at ordinarypeoplepodcast16@gmail.com. Once again, it's ordinarypeoplepodcast16@gmail.com. Comment, or if you know somebody who wants to share their story or be a guest on Ordinary People Podcast, once again, hit me up, ordinarypeoplepodcast16@gmail.com, or hit me through Facebook, Alan Henry on Facebook. Send me a friend request, inbox me, however you want to do. I'll get back to you. Also, if you are interested in booking me for speaking events, whether it's at a school, church, or just at meetings, or any kind of way you want to book me to share my opinion, to motivate and inspire others, please email me directly, ordinarypeoplepodcast16@gmail.com. Please, let's move this podcast forward. Let's move you forward. Let's stop leaving money on the table and let's start grabbing it. This has been the Ordinary People Podcast. I want to thank you for listening. Peace.